Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is Saturday still, April 26, 2025. Back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm about to step out for a little while. And I wanted to check in with y'all for a minute. I have a very vivid imagination, right? My thoughts have me all over the place. One minute I'm in Mobile, next minute I'm in Egypt. One minute I'm in Egypt, next minute I'm in Saudi Arabia. My thoughts, my mind have me all over the place with what I think throughout a day. And I was thinking about how bad I want to be a multi-millionaire. I really, truly, deep down in the core of my spirit, my essence, want to be a multi-millionaire. And it's not just to buy fancy cars, big pretty homes, and all that type stuff, right? I want to be able to first take great care of my family. Not just my son, but his mother, his sister, him, my people, my family, my lady friend, cousins, uncle, my bedridden mom, everybody. I want to be able to make it possible that nobody in my family, nobody I consider friend, what have you, have to worry about money anymore. That's the main reason I want to be a multi-millionaire. And the thing about that, especially for most people, and it may be true for me too, but I'm gonna at least try. But the reality is, most people would think, man, I just want to be comfortable. I ain't really worried about being a multi-millionaire, man, cause that's pretty much damn near impossible, right? Most people say, man, I didn't heard them say it. I done heard people say it. I ain't saying it. I'm saying I want to be a multi-millionaire. I don't want to just be comfortable. I want to be a multi-millionaire. I'm putting it out there in the universe. I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I am a multi-millionaire. Just putting it out there in the universe. Letting God hear me. So God can say, yes, you are. So anyway, but most people feel like, man, I just want to be comfortable. I ain't worried about being a multi-millionaire. I just want to be straight. Okay. I got some bad news for the majority of people in the world. And I mean the majority. I got some bad news. Even though you say you want to be comfortable, you ain't worried about being a multi-millionaire. As I was thinking, we hear these statistics about the number of Americans that don't have $1,000 saved up. Right now, it's like 70% or more don't have $1,000 in the bank. And around the same amount or more don't have $500 in the bank. I've said this before a numerous amount of times. Y'all heard it before. But I thought about an even more alarming statistic, number. That's even sadder than that. Not only do most Americans not have $1,000 in the bank, And I know a lot of y'all say you ain't worried about being a multi-millionaire, you just want to be comfortable. I want y'all to think about this. Do you think this is true? This is just my theory, my belief. And a lot of y'all probably feel the same way, especially when I say it to you, even though you probably never heard it before, never thought about it. Now that I say it, you might say, well, damn, he right. This number popped in my head. Y'all remember I did the video about if you got $10,000 less, you broke. Y'all remember that? Well, there's something on the flip side of that, a little different. And a different number popped in my head, $20,000. $20,000. That's not millionaire status, not multi-millionaire status, not even close to $1 million, not even close to $100,000. $20,000. That ain't a lot of money. Most of us can agree to that. $20,000 is not a lot of money. Is it? Do we agree? Can we agree on that? $20,000 is not a lot of money. Where you going with this, Big Ward? I'm glad you asked. Because not only will the majority of people not be millionaires, y'all can accept that. Y'all kind of like, oh, yeah, you're right. That's a lot of multi-millionaires. Nah, the majority of people, that's only 1% or 2%, 10%, whatever. So everybody already kind of came to grip with that. The majority of people not going to be multi-millionaires. But it's no big deal. You can still be all right and not be a multi-millionaire, right? You can still be straight. Until I tell you this alarming, what I believe is a fact. And that number $20,000 I just gave y'all. I believe that the majority of people would never in their lifetime have $20,000 cash at one time. Unless they either win it, some lawsuit, settlement or something like that. But as far as working, making enough money, being able to save up enough money, the majority of people won't have $20,000 cash in their entire life, from birth to death. Now you might make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. So you're gonna be done made it. You're gonna make in your lifetime way more than $20,000. Right or wrong. In your lifetime, the majority of people, even if you work minimum wage your entire life, if you live 67, 80 years, whatever, the average lifespan, even if you don't make but minimum wage, in your lifetime, you will make way more than $20,000. But on the flip side, in your lifetime, there's a possibility that the majority of people walking this planet would never have $20,000 cash at one time in their life. It's gonna pass through their hands. You'll pay, spending nowadays, $15,000, $20,000 in rent a year. So that amount of money gonna pass through your hands. But the way the system's set up, the incomes, inflation, and the cost of living, the majority of people, I ain't talking about just in 2025 you're not gonna have it. I'm not saying last year you ain't have it, or year before last you ain't have it. I'm saying from the time you born to the time you die, the majority of people would never in their life have $20,000 cash at one time that they could put their hands on in the bank, saved up, that they can touch. Now think about that. Like I said, sometimes I ride by myself and I just go to think about all kind of stuff. I told you my mind take me there. And that just something popped in my mind out of nowhere. I wasn't watching a movie, wasn't watching TV, wasn't talking to nobody about it. It's just something that came across my mind that, man, we talking about being millionaires? Are we talking about everybody broke? Are we talking about $10,000 less you broke? Do you know it's possible? That's what I was thinking. That's how I got on this topic. It just came out of nowhere. Do you know it's possible that the majority of people in their lifetime would never have $20,000 at one time? A lot of y'all listening to me right now probably never had 10,000 ever. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If it hadn't been for some stuff I did that I ain't had no business doing at a young age, I told y'all about, I would have never had it. I've had over $20,000, because I had a little more than that. I ain't got it now, I blew it. The street dumb shit, And the way I got it, it wasn't meant for you to be able to keep it no way. It's a setup. It's a trap, as they said. I was in the trap. I got trapped. All that stuff gone now. I was reading a news article today from this guy in my hometown. Just got 35 years fed. A kingpin, right? And how the feds or whatever, they didn't sentence him to 35 years, so they seized some stuff from him. So now they did some type of final order or whatever to make it official, to where they can keep all the stuff that they took from him. And out of those things listed that they took from him was $2.4 million cash that was in like storage units. Like 10 cars, all types of classic 72 Impala, Buick Electric 225 of 1970, Mercedes Benzes, Rolls Royces, property, they took all that stuff. So you can gain it illegally, but you ain't gonna keep it, I promise. Because as fast as you get it, you're gonna lose it. But if it hadn't been for that type of lifestyle, I probably would have never had it. Now, when I got into trucking, owning my own truck, and doing business and stuff like that, I was able to accumulate that amount. But overall, the majority of people won't be able to do it. Can live 70 years, like say for my mom, who passed away November the 1st, 1995. I guarantee you, she never told me, but I can pretty much tell by the life we were living, where she came from, where she grew up at. I can guarantee you, at no given time of her life has she ever had $20,000 cash, ever in her life. And I know many other people, y'all know people, you might be the people that have never had in your lifetime $20,000. That ain't no money. That ain't no money. Like I said, the average salary in America is 40-some thousand a year. So you making 20, but for some reason, the way the system's set up, it's like you gotta be disciplined like a goddamn nun. You can do it, but you gotta have the discipline of a nun, a Shaolin monk, to be able to save 20, and let alone $30,000 cash. The way we being paid and the expenses and the bills we have. Think about it from what you make. How would you go about saving $20,000 cash without having to hit a lick, a lawsuit, lump sum, where you done, got hit and you called Morgan & Morgan, something like that. You went to the casino and hit the lottery or whatever. If it ain't something, if you crossed them out, you didn't win it, no lawsuit, no casino, no lottery, no inheritance, somebody left it to you, just you on your own with none of that stuff, the odds are against you to where you will ever have $20,000 in your life. I know I be trying to encourage you and motivate you. That's why I say don't even let money be your source of happiness. That's why you can't let money, possessions, and material stuff be your source of happiness. Because for the majority of us in life, we won't have a lot of material stuff. So you depending on material stuff for your happiness, the majority of people ain't gonna be happy then. Because the majority of people ain't gonna have a lot of money. Money can't be your source of happiness. I just felt like coming on here and just sharing that with y'all. For what I don't know, we talk about anything over here. So I don't know, I don't think that was something that's gonna help you. Maybe it will. Maybe y'all can get somebody that'll help you. But it was just something I was thinking. Like, damn, that's wild. When you think about it, because a lot of us, including myself, before the thought that should cross my mind, I had never thought about it that way. And a lot of y'all probably have never thought about it that way. That you can live, the majority of people can live 70 to 80 years old and still, in no time in their life at one time, had $20,000 at one time. If it weren't for some, like I said, some circumstances, lawsuit, won the lottery, hit at the casino, something like that. But other than that, most people never have it. Forget about being a multi-millionaire. Most people won't have $20,000 little dollars. So if you happen to be one of them people, well, you might have 30,000, you might have 40,000, you might not be a millionaire, but you got 80,000 cash. You are extremely rare and blessed, especially in this world. Where this world is designed for you to make $50,000 or better and still not be able to save up 20 or 30,000 cash. It's designed for that. It ain't no accident. It ain't that you just stupid and undisciplined. It's designed for you to not to have it. So you have to keep working. Make sure you ain't never in a position to where you can retire early. The goal for this system in capitalism is not for everybody to be able to retire at 25. It's not meant for that. That's why they set the retirement age at 65. Now they moved it up to 68, I think. Why you think they set it that far? Because they know they got the system designed and set up to where most people ain't gonna be able to retire until then. And nowadays, folks ain't gonna be able to do it then. We all being played with. So whatever little money you got saved up, be grateful for that. Get it, got it good. Sorry. Bye.